Welcome to the channel, everybody. This is William Hall Auto Interiors. What we're working on is I think it's a 2020 Harley Davidson seat. That's it right there. That's the picture of it. When things come in here, Wesley takes them apart, so he really didn't know. So he done took it all apart. I did sew a couple of pieces of it back together. He marks it pretty good sometimes. So where we're at with this is I'm going to try to explain to you what we're doing with this seat. Okay, here's the patterns right here. I can use part of these patterns, but what I done was I was going to change this seat, and that's what I done right here. I'm going to take this right here off. I'm going to put you on the stand and try to explain it to you a little bit better than holding the phone and doing it. That way I can pick the seat up and kind of turn it around and show you how we made the patterns to it. It's pretty important to know some of these things whenever you're doing these seats. I'm not going to make the cover right now, but I'm going to show you how to get the patterns to it where you can make this cover. And you look right here and you see I've got some marks right here where I went around it and marked it. This piece right here went around here, and you can look at it and tell how different it is, like this to here. You see this bend right here? I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of hard. That piece actually went up under the seat. So this is pretty important, what I'm going to tell you right here. When you take these patterns off and they're stretched on, they will shrink. If you don't do something pretty quick, they will shrink up, and you'll have to take them like this right here and stretch them back out like this. No joke. They will shrink up, and you will have to stretch them back out. Not going to tear the material, but you will have to stretch them back out and stick them back up here and make sure that they're in the right place. This is my patterns right here. That's another piece. I'm sticking some of this together, but I'm on this back part back here. I didn't change it. So you can look and tell none of this back here, I didn't change it none. But this part right here in the front, right here, I changed it a lot. This seat was maybe about this much higher right here. And I'll show you some of this foam that we took this right here off of it. It was, you can tell right here where it was glued on from maybe the factory. They glued it on and it set like this. Now you're talking about a motorcycle seat that like this right here was right here. That folded over the edge. And all that. Kill it. Making a video. I'm at the shop. But I'm about to be done. Yeah, because you called and you'll call on my other phone. Call me right back. Bye. That was my wife. If I don't answer the phone, she'll blow my line up. Okay, this was folded around here, and you see the difference right here. You're talking about a seat that is, you're not working with a whole lot, so you can't change it a lot, but I did change it a pretty good bit. And what I done was I rounded this right in here out. and I rounded that out because a person's tail ain't flat. It was flat. So I took about that much, maybe an inch out of it right in here. Maybe I can take this ruler and show you, or this ruler here. So it was more flat going across. So I took and rounded it out a pretty good bit, maybe about an inch. And the back part back here, I took this part and rounded it out about an inch. So what I made, I first started, I was going to change it. If you can see that picture right there, I first started, I made that picture, then I made that picture, trying to tell what kind of pattern and stuff we was going to build. You got to have sort of an idea of what you're going to make. All right. He wanted an alligator print on here, so we ordered some leather alligator print. The motorcycle is black, but this alligator print, if you look at it, some of it is like a heavy grain right here, and I'm thinking maybe that's up under the belly. But they just take the leather hide and that's the way they do it. They make the belly, like the belly part and the little part and the rough part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to put a little bit of both on here to where it don't just have just the belly part right in here. If that's the belly part. Could be the side, I don't know. But the rest of it is going to be black. So he wanted that dark brown, and what he actually picked out, they don't make it no more. So we're not going to put this right here back on it because it's just it's real soft. It don't have a whole lot of value to it. This right here, it don't have a whole lot of value to it neither. We're not going to use this. And what he had on here before, it didn't have no pad. So we're going to put a little bit of pad in the cover. And the way it went was like that. And this pattern went down through the seat. It had a hole right in here. Now it's up here a little bit because I cut it down. And this piece right here went right here. So that tells you, just by looking at it, you can actually see the difference a little bit deeper what the seat's made. See? So when you change it and you go down, you grind it down and you round this section right in here out to fit the person's behind. You know, you want to round it out, not make it too straight right in here. Right in here, you don't want to make it too straight right in here. So the patterns, and you can change the patterns. This is the part I want to really, reason I made the video was this part. If you use this type tape right here, which is like a painter's tape, if you use that, it's not very sticky. I mean, it might stick to a wall, but we're not sticking it to a wall. This is just regular freezer tape, and it is a little bit stickier. And this is what we used, was just regular freezer tape to make this pattern right here. So what you do is you tape it and you put a good foundation. You don't just put one layer on it. You might go crisscross, and that's what I done. Went this way and then went this way. Then you draw your pattern out on here, like this pattern that I draw. So it's just a pattern. If you have to, you can take some plastic or something like that and kind of stick it up there on top of it to get one side. Once you get the center on it, that's what you're looking for, is the center. So you can tell right here, I haven't cut this one right here yet, or this one right here yet, but I did cut all the way around here. You can tell that I just took one of these little knives, barely going through the because I don't want to cut the foam. Just barely go through the tape and cut your patterns out. Now, whenever you cut these patterns out, in a bunch of cases, they'll take a piece of leather, and I'm just going to show you with a scrap piece of leather. In a bunch of several of these people will take a piece of leather like this, and they will lay this leather up here like this, and instead of sewing it together like you would a regular seam, like these seams right here are, they'll lay that edge right there on top of it and just sew it down. Maybe put a couple of stitches on there with some contrast thread, and it'll just have that raw edge on it. We're not going to do that. Even if I got to come in here with a wheel or something and grind that out and give it a little depth, maybe about like that, we're going to sew this right here together, and it's going to be a seam like this. We're just going to sew it together like this, and it ain't going to have no raw edge on it. I ain't saying I ain't going to put no contrast thread on it or nothing, but this is my pattern right here, and I marked it all the way around, and I'm going to leave, and whenever you cut these right here, whenever you cut these lines, ever how much you're comfortable sewing. I mean, it is leather, so I'm just going to sew a little bit. I'm not going to sew no real wide seam and have all that bunched up in there. I'm just going to sew it small. So I'm going to add probably maybe about 3/8, maybe overhang on here. I ain't going to do a 1/2 inch. I might even do a 1/4. I don't know, but it's going to be real close. I'm not going to make it real wide, like right in here. I'm going to want that to set down. And I am going to put a little bit of pad on the leather. I'm not just going to make it like just plain leather with no, like they did it here. I'm not just going to put no pad on it at all. But I did go ahead, and you can look. So I did shape that right there with 1/2 inch sew foam. After I smoothed it out really good, even by hand, I went over it by hand. So these patterns right here are going to be really the foundation of the cover. Like this right here, I'm going to have to go back, and some of these pieces were, I have no clue where they're at. There's a piece that goes right here in the front of the seat, right there, right in here. I don't know. Maybe it got thrown away. Who knows? But at any rate, I don't think that right there. No, that ain't it. So I'm pretty sure that piece went right back here at the back. But that's the way that you need to make your patterns right here, because when you start altering this foam, it's going to alter your patterns. But I only did half of the seat, so from here back, I can use these same patterns right here. From here forward, all this stuff's going to change the whole dimension of the seat. It's going to look way better. Whenever I start to do this seat cover, I may even make a video of that part right there. But hey, we'll see. So till next time, till I make this seat, which is going to be real soon. Hey, I might even do it this weekend. I don't know. But thanks, everybody. See y'all next time.